44.4% of homeowners and renters in the U.S. are struggling to afford their monthly payments. This is from a Redfin survey, alarming statistic, and it really highlights a few things. There's some combined pressures here going on. Home prices have risen substantially, more than 40% since before the pandemic. That's nationally. Mortgage interest rates are higher than the ultra-low rate period. That's very clear. Everyone's been talking about it. Rents are also climbing, up more than 22% in some parts of the country, and many households are making trade-offs or sacrifices that cut into lifestyle costs, delaying life decisions. There's a lot of pent-up demand right now to make housing payments work. So this is nothing new for anyone that's been studying the housing market. 44.4% is a big number. So the basic situation is that there are large portions of the population who are financially stressed by housing, and that puts a lot of pressure on demand, buyer behavior, and the choices people are making when it comes to buying and selling. So in our market, we're in a little different spot than the rest of the country because inventory is still at that low 2-month range. It's 2.33, 2.4 month supply of what's on the market right now. In terms of if nothing else came to the market, that's how long it would take everything to sell. So that puts pressure on affordability, especially for home buyers. The local context here is our average sale price in the greater Philadelphia area fluctuates right around $450,000 right now. And that's going to vary by county, by township, by neighborhood. And there's been some substantial year-over-year growth in the suburbs. It's been flatter in the city. Some markets are going to be a little different. And home prices have been rising roughly 2 to 5% this year, depending on where you are. Inventory's improved. We've seen about a 12 or a 13% bump right in the middle there year to date in active listings on the market that are for sale. And days on market's risen a little bit. It's up to 22, 23 days right now. It's higher in the city of Philadelphia. So that's the local data. We cover that every month on the show here. And there's some implications here. So I'm going to start about the implications for sellers, knowing there's this affordability crunch. There's still a chance for sellers right now to capture strong equity in their home, and pricing the home correctly is going to be important. Many sellers have meaningful equity in their homes right now, and if you're looking to cash out, there's an opportunity to do that. And because affordability is strained for buyers, and we see that the average home in the suburban counties, Chester, Montgomery, and Delaware, selling for 99.6% of the asking price, you want to get that price right. And the homes that are priced too high struggle on the market. Getting the price right from the start is going to be more important than ever. You also want to make sure you've got the right exposure. The home shows really well. There's going to be 3 reasons why a great home sells. Buyers get the right emotional reaction when they walk through the door. You have the right exposure online and offline. And then obviously pricing, which is important. And we're seeing some pushback on that. Homes are sitting on the market now if they're not priced correctly. So you want to make sure you've got video, you've got photos. There's a video plan, not just posting it and getting a handful of views. And the home's prepped properly to get the right exposure. Some home sellers, they want to put their home on the market without photos. Fatal mistake. You're not going to get people through. And not having the home ready, you don't want to rush that because you only get one chance at a first impression. And you may need to realize that longer time on market is going to be a little more likely. 22 or 30 days, that would have been a great time on market in 2018, 2019. That wasn't the case earlier in the decade once we hit 2020. And you've got to understand what the average time on market's going to be. And that's where having an agent who understands these statistics and knows them can really help you guide and understand and navigate the market really well. And timing is going to be important as well. You want to make sure you're hitting the market at the right time. Do you have a coming soon campaign? Do you have a lead up time when you start showing the property? All that's really important. And that's the kind of stuff you need to think about as a seller because affordability is a hot button. You want to make sure you're positioning the home well, you're marketing it professionally and aggressively, and you've got a really great product. Now, for buyers, this is a little different. Higher income and stronger finances might be needed. You might need to borrow some money from mom and dad. You might need to save up more for a down payment or look into buying down the rate to improving that monthly payment. Mortgage rates have pushed up the monthly cost of buying. You may need to look at areas with lower property taxes. You might need to shop around for insurance. You may want to talk to a few lenders to get a handle on this. And there's going to be more competition for well-priced homes. Waiting until the spring is something we hear a lot, and a lot of folks, they don't realize there's going to be more buyers flooding the market then. You want to be out there all the time, or maybe when the competition isn't as a buyer. There also are going to be negotiation opportunities for all the competition on the well-priced homes that there's a lot of activity. Homes that are on the market 2, 3, 4 weeks, there might be an opportunity to negotiate, which is pretty incredible. And focusing on trade-offs, right? You want to look at the magic formula for a buyer. It's I can afford the payment, the home works, and I'm going to be here the next 5 years. You may have to give up some things. You may have to make some sacrifices. And having a budget to know where your comfort level is with a monthly payment is going to be pretty critical. So there's a lot of stuff to think about here. And the most important thing is when you go out there without a strategy, without a plan, both financially, when it comes to writing an offer, when it comes to pricing the home, when it comes to marketing to the right demographic or targeting the right properties, without a strategy, you're likely to fail. And having those strategy meetings, those planning sessions, those sit downs to come up with a financial plan to buy or sell, to come up with a numbers plan that highlights monthly payment and cash to close, when you have that plan, it gives you clarity when you're moving in a fast or a slower paced market so you can outmaneuver the competition because there's opportunities to negotiate and you may have to get competitive and have a multiple offer mindset. It's all going to be situational. All the more reason to have a plan. And when you have a plan, you're planning to win when it comes to making a real estate decision.